The government is on track in keeping with its promise to distribute 50,000 house lots to Guyanese by the end of 2025. As a matter of fact, they have already reached to the end of the conservancy on the East Bank of Demerara. This means that there are no more house lots to be distributed in areas along the East Bank of Demerara. Minister of Housing and Water, Collin Croal, on Friday visited a total of 6 blocks in the areas of Great Diamond and Grove on the East Bank of Demerara. The purpose of the visit was for Croal to inspect ongoing infrastructure works that are ongoing in these areas. Infrastructure works include road networking, land preparation, and pipe networking to allow for water access. In the 2 areas, there were a total of 6 blocks that were visited by Croal. According to Croal, in these 6 blocks, a total of 5,300 house lots were already distributed to Guyanese.
As it is right now, there is no more land to allocate here on the East Bank for housing because we've actually reached the conservancy. And so for the Great Diamond portion, there, by and large, most of the Great Diamond persons will be able to start seeing their lot at the end of this year, but not before midpoint next month, but by the end of this year. And then there are 1 or 2, there are maybe about 25% of that will be shown within the very early to the new year. The others should have been completed by now. And so that's why we're doing a reassessment as to what is happening. There's a lot of work that is ongoing here, as you can see, and you see the spread of the contractors that we have working here. I know persons have been some persons have been waiting a while. Persons who were allocated last year, they were always told that the infrastructure work will be done this year, and by the end of this year they would have had access. But there are 1 or 2 of the blocks where the allocation was done in 2021, late 2021, like in the block 18 case and the one other block that we visited earlier. And so finally, I know we'll get to that point of being able to provide access for them and to their new area. And their other infrastructure works will continue into the new year, which means the other utility, and that is we're referring to electricity, etc.
During his visit at each site, Croal interacted with contractors. The contractors raised a number of issues, such as access to the land, as well as difficulties in accessing materials such as sand.
Some contractors, however, in summary, are working faster than some. And I've always said to contractors is that if you perform well, then obviously these things are taken into consideration for you to be able to get additional work, because the scope of works that we have in place for Ministry of Housing and Water, for Central Housing and Planning Authority for new housing developments, it's a lot. We are aware that the contractors all, as I said, and I want to repeat, so that we understand the play field that we're working on, that access was an initial challenge. In fact, at least about 4 months after award, that is when they were able to access this area. But notwithstanding that, now, with the weather that we have, and with all starting at the same time, there are 6 contractors, as I said, that have ongoing infrastructure works on this block. There's no excuse for 2 of them to be way behind in comparison to the others. The 2024 program, for which we already allocated lots on this year, that's form part of what our budgetary allocation will be for next year.
Reporting for the newsroom from the East Bank of Demerara, I am Sharda Bacchus.